Good morning, y'all. Hope you guys are having an awesome Friday. Hope you guys had a great week. Today we're going to be doing something pretty special to honor space nurses and lunch personnel. So in between each set of exercise on the suspension trainer that I have hanging back there, excuse me, we're going to be doing some facts for each one of those areas to honor them today. Stay tuned for that. We're going to run through the primary movements on the suspension trainer today. So if you guys have never seen those before, it'll be like a really good video to check out. We're also going to do something special. I have a request from one of my clients to film me doing one of my core burner circuits. So we're going to do that after we get our 7 primary movements done. We're going to do some accessory work. So if you guys want some ideas to do for core, this will be core burner level 1, and I have like up to level 10. So this one will be like the starting point if you guys are looking for some relatively easy core work to do. Without further ado, let's go ahead and do 3 facts before we start. So first and foremost, we're going to start with the nurses. Honoring the nurses. Shout out to all the nurses. Today, we got some facts to present. First fact. We're going to start off. We're going to list some historical facts. Or one historical fact. The first record of nurses dates all the way back to 300 AD in the Roman Empire. I actually didn't know that. Nurses worked in the era's version of a hospital, which could be found in most cities. It wasn't until the Middle Ages that nursing became more advanced and widespread. Awesome stuff. Shout out to nurses. All right, now we're going to shout out to space. I love space. The first space fact is space is completely silent. There is no atmosphere in space, which means that that sound has no medium or way to travel or be heard. I actually did know that. I'm a big fan of The Expanse. If you guys haven't seen the Amazon series, you need to check it out. It's so good. All right, and last but not least, this is National School Lunch Hero Day as well today. So this is basically just lunch personnel at schools who serve the kids meals. And this is kind of a way to express gratitude and just give them a shout out too. So shout out to lunch personnel. One way that you can honor lunch personnel today is by doing messages, banners, or anything that just shows gratitude for their hard work. A fact about lunch personnel. About 225 million meals have been served since the National School Lunch Program was signed by the 33rd President of the United States of America, which was President Harry Truman. So cool stuff. Shout out to nurses, space, and school personnel today. It's the national days to honor them, and then we're going to get to the workout. So first set is going to be 3 sets of a tricep. We're going to do swing, rotation, carry on the suspension trainers. Alright, so set number 1 down to the primary movements, swing, rotation, carry. So you guys can see that swing variant that I did there. It's basically just the same sort of movement you'd be doing for a kettlebell swing. You're just engaging those hips in an explosive movement, squeezing the glutes really tight, not arching the back. For the rotation movement, you can see me going side to side, really engaging those obliques. No different than if you did like a kettlebell or dumbbell rotation out in front of you. Just make sure you keep the hands relatively in line with the shoulder as you do that. And you really want to like crunch and squeeze the obliques as you do that rotation. And then last but not least, you can't really do a farmer's carry on suspension trainers, but what you can do is you can do isometric holds. So it was in a row position, and I came up to about 45 degrees, like halfway through that repetition, and I just held isometrically. I squeezed my upper body, pinch squeeze my shoulder blades, core, glutes, legs, everything just as tight as I can. And I held that for about 10 to 20 seconds. So when we're doing lighter weight based workouts like the suspension trainer, you still want to go for that RP of 8. RP of 8 stands for rating of perceived exertion. 8 out of 10 is the scale that I like to use. That's about 80% of your maximal effort. So you're not going to failure, but you're pretty close to it. So on lighter days where you're doing lighter weight or suspension trainer work, your 8 out of 10, or that RP of 8, is going to probably be more reps than it would be otherwise when you're doing weight. And that's usually how it goes. Heavier the weight, less reps. All right, so we're going to do some more facts to honor nurses, space, and lunch personnel. So fact number 2 for nurses. Shout out to all the nurses. Florence Nightingale shaped the profession in healthcare. One of the most famous nurses was a British woman, Florence Nightingale. Her duties as a nurse during the Crimean War saved many soldiers' lives. Nightingale changed the way nurses were educated and how nursing as a profession was viewed by society. Right on, Florence Nightingale. Shout out to you. Fact number 2 for space. The hottest planet in our solar system is 450 degrees Celsius. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system and has an average surface temperature of around 450 degrees Celsius. All right. And then fact number 2 for lunch personnel. The price paid for a healthy school lunch meal is often less than the price of a homemade meal. And there you have it. 3 facts for each of those. And we're going to go ahead and get back to the workout with another superset or tricep of swing, rotation, carry. feeling very energetic today. So rather than just doing one tricep, we're gonna go through the whole primary movements, all 7 of them. So we're gonna get into squat, row, deadlift, and press. Okay, so that was all 7 primary movements. We did swing, rotation, carry, and we finished up with squat, row, single leg deadlift, well single leg squat as well, and then single leg deadlift, and that last right there, that was a press variant. That's actually overhead shoulder press variant on the suspension trainers. And we'll repeat that same sort of process because I'm having a ton of energy today. And I felt like doing a tricep, which is 3 back-to-back exercises, a little bit too easy for me today. So we're gonna go all 7 of the primary movements. And yeah, we'll do, we got one more set of the swing, rotation, carry, since we already did one of those prior. And then we're gonna do 2 more sets of the ladder 4. All right, so more trivia or facts. I still have my Star Wars brain on from yesterday doing all that Star Wars trivia. We did like 70, something like 60 or 70 Star Wars trivia questions yesterday, so yeah, if you guys want to check that out on the last stream. So we're honoring nurses today. Another fact for nurses is Bellevue Hospital School of Nursing was the first nursing school. Opened in 1873, New York City's Bellevue Hospital School of Nursing offered a one-year program based on the teachings of Florence Nightingale. Shortly after Bellevue opened, the New England Hospital for Women and Massachusetts General Hospital opened nursing schools of their own. Shout out to nurses. All right, to honor space today. So, fact number 3 for space. You would think that Mercury would be the hottest, but Mercury has no atmosphere, which regulates temperature, resulting in big fluctuations. That was kind of a continuation on the hottest planet in our solar system, the last fact that we kind of covered for space. So shout out to space today. And then National School Lunch Hero Day. School meals are often budget friendly, and some schools even have various payment options. So yeah, shout out to lunch personnel today as well. We're going to get to our next set of all 7 primary movements. right. Like we're feeling that one. Okay, honoring nurses. Whoa, can't see my face. I'm just gonna talk like this. It'd be like cow and chicken. Actually, it'd be if I was showing my feet and my tube socks. Oh man, all right. So we're honoring the nurses today. So some more facts. I can't enunciate for the life of me. So facts about nurses. All right, so nurses walk about 5 kilometers every shift. While the general population averages about 2.5 miles of walking daily, nurses double that in one shift. On average, nurses walk 4 to 5 miles every 12-hour shift that they work. That's a lot of walking. Very introspective. PRNfunding.com, very introspective. This interesting fact about nurses proves why nurses need a comfortable pair of shoes. Speaking of which, if you guys need suggestions, Asics are really great running shoes. They're really comfy if you are doing like a lot of stuff on your feet. If you can get away with it, a lot of people have really weak feet. Wearing some like barefoot sort of feet, or barefoot sort of feet, I mean barefoot sort of shoes, like Vibrams are really good. Those 5 separations of your toes. They're called like the toe finger shoes or whatever. Those are really solid. You kind of have to build up your foot strength to wear those, but if you could, that would be great if you're on your feet a lot and if you're doing like a lot of walking, a lot of hiking. The idea is you don't want a ton of cushion under your feet because that over time is going to make your feet weaker because your muscles aren't going to have to work as hard. So it's something you have to build up to. Obviously, if you have like chronic feet pain, like chronic plantar fasciitis and any other issues that deal with like chronic foot pain, you obviously need your special insoles and stuff like that. But it would actually be beneficial for someone with those chronic conditions as well to practice foot strengthening, go barefoot often, and just slowly build up to wearing less support for your feet. Another pro tip, I know I'm getting a little bit ranty today, but pro tip for feet health is you can do something called grounding. That's where you go barefoot and you literally just stand outside in earth. It could be like dirt, it could be grass, it could be anything literally like where your feet is touching the earth. Now cement and concrete kind of block that sensory input that you get from your feet on the earth. So you need to be on something like dirt, sand, grass, whatever, something like that. And that actually really helps restore balance to your feet. Because I won't get too into it, but look up earthing or grounding, and it's a really great science with a lot of evidence to support overall health as well as foot health. All right, so that was a little bit rant heavy. I got a lot of those, by the way. I try not to do it so much. But now we're going to be honoring space today. Or next we're going to be honoring space. A full NASA spacesuit costs $12 million. Holy. I did not realize that. While the entire spacesuits cost $12 million, 70% of that cost is for the backpack and control module. However, the spacesuits that NASA uses were built in 1974. I read that wrong. Sorry, I like slightly dyslexic. However, the spacesuits that NASA uses were built in 1974. If these were priced by today's pricing, they would cost an estimated of $150 million. Holy moly. That's some grip right there. Shout out to space and your expensive ass suits. Woo! Okay, the first school lunch, now we're honoring lunch personnel today. The first school lunch program in the United States was launched in vocational schools in 1853 by the Children's Aid Society of New York. Awesome. So honoring nurses, space, and lunch personnel today. We're going to finish up with our last 4 primary movements since we already did swing, rotation, carry 3 times. This last set is going to be just for squat, row, and single leg deadlift, and our shoulder press variant. And then we'll get into some core burner stuff after that. So stay tuned for some core work after that, accessory work. Oh, what up, guys? Shout out to Borga Max. What's up, dude? Or dudette? Totally just saw your message now. I don't know how long ago you sent that. And then, what's up, Almighty Bands? Old man. I'm not a boomer, man. What's up, guys? Sorry I didn't see your messages earlier. Thanks for checking out the stream. Woo, it's on fire! Now we're all done with the 7 primary movements. We're going to do one last trivia for each of these, for space nurses and lunch personnel today. Sorry, not trivia, some facts for each of those. And then we're going to do our core burner circuit. So, first up we have nurses. Shout out to nurses. Half of the students studying a healthcare related topic are in nursing. Nursing majors represent about 50% of higher education students in the healthcare field. Because of these numbers, nursing students find a strong support system in their peers as they pursue their degrees. Yeah, so a fun little fact about me, I actually was really considering becoming a DO, a doctor of orthopedic, uh, doctor of osteopathic medicine. It's basically what you do as a normal doctor, but the education route's a little bit different as you go further along and get closer to actually becoming a doctor. You basically branch off and do more holistic practices. Like you can do like registered dietitian programs, you can do like chiropractic programs, stuff like that. The reason why I really like DOs is because they actually believe more in holistic practices like natural remedies rather than just medicating, whereas your traditional MDs, your traditional doctors, they believe heavily in medication. Not all of them, but I just tend to find that DOs usually prefer like a more holistic route. So I was actually really considering doing that many years ago, like 3 to 4 years ago. But then I just realized how much education is behind it, and I'm not super good with school, especially like sitting there for lectures and stuff like that. I'm much more of a self-learner. Like on my own, I can research and study and learn like so effectively. But when I have to like sit in a lecture hall, there's just something in my brain that like blocks out the lecturing type of education system. So if they had something more interactive and more like vocational, I would like that way better. So it was just kind of like a big turn off all like the lecture-based materials you'd have to do and stuff like that. But I try to do the best I can. I try to learn as much knowledge as I can and still have good conversations with clients of mine who are doctors and stuff. So just being able, it's really interesting being able to level with someone who has all those degrees and that amount of education. Me personally, I'm much more of a self-learner and a pursuer of like information rather than like a guided based and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, enough ranting. We're shouting out space right now. National Space Day today. The sun's mass takes up 99.86% of the solar system. The sun accounts for 99.8% of the mass in our solar system, with a mass of around 330,000 times that of Earth. Woo! Did you know that the sun is made up of mostly hydrogen, 3/4 worth, with the rest of its mass attributed to helium? If the sun had a voice, it would be high and squeaky from all that helium. That's pretty funny. All right, so last but not least, we're going to be shouting out National School Lunch Hero Day. This is all for the school lunch personnel. Shout out to you. So Jared, I'm gonna butcher this last name. Jared Krosikska, very interesting last name. Children's author and illustrator came up with National Lunch Hero Day to credit and honor the food service employees after visiting his old school and finding the lunch lady who worked in his school, years working with full dedication and hard work. So shout out to Jared for founding that. The first National School Lunch Day was celebrated on the 7th of May, 2021. All right, so that's it for the facts today. We're going to finish up today with a core burner circuit. This is going to be level 1. I have many different levels, but this was at a request of a client of mine. So level 1 core burner circuit is going to be, let me pull it up real quick. I want to make sure I get the order correctly because I have it written down in a specific order. It's going to be knee up crunch, it's going to be reverse crunch, bicycle crunch, and side crunch. These are all consecutive back-to-back superset style, so it's a circuit. You want to repeat this about 5 times. Today I'm just going to go for 3 times just to give you guys a demonstration. And then the duration for each of these exercises is about 20 seconds. So don't get too concerned, especially with core work, with counting reps. I think that's the biggest mistake people make in general with working out. They don't focus enough on the contraction of their muscle, the isometric engagement of their muscle, and especially when we're doing core work, a lot of people just want to get reps out. Don't worry about reps, just time it, okay? 20 seconds is really all you need. If you do need longer, like I would suggest just upping the intensity of the specific core exercises. Like if this level 1 core burner stuff's too easy, shoot me a message and I can send you guys some more challenging stuff. But even for me, this level 1 core burner, because I'm so good at like isometrically engaging and squeezing my core, it's still challenging. So really just focus more so on the repetition movement rather than the rep count itself. And that's like one of the best pieces of advice I can give you guys for that. So let me go ahead and adjust the mat, make sure it's in the shot here of the stream, and we'll get to our core burner circuit.